What's up, Scyushi Squad? We are back again for probably the last video focusing on the Serenitea Pot specifically. I might have some videos here and there talking about the new furniture and stuff like that, but I don't know. Even then, it's not really my thing. Like, I don't really want to produce videos on like absolutely everything to do with Genshin, just because those things aren't as exciting for me. But today is a phenomenal day because I ended up actually getting to trust rank 10. So I kind of wanted to show you guys, you know, kind of a world tour of my final area here because I've got it looking pretty spick and span. It's looking as good as I hoped that it would, outside of, you know, some things that I can refine over time and so on and so forth. But most of all, I want to show you guys all of the different things that you end up earning for having trust rank 10. So if we take a look at the trust rank here, for the final bout, you end up getting a couple Prima Gems. You get the windmill, which you may have saw 2 seconds ago in the background. And you end up getting this house, which is basically a variant of a house that already exists, but it's just got a blue roof instead of a green roof. And then you get max realm currency, stored is increased, number of available realm layouts goes up to 3, and teapot transformation. I guess he's different because he's got... I have no idea what's different about him, honestly. Like, maybe the door is on him, or... I really don't know. But anyways, other than that, the biggest thing, again, is just the fact that we're going to be getting the all 3 realm styles. And we've got all of the islands. So I can kind of show you guys what each of them looks like. I got 20k on all of these just because there was an achievement tied to it. Let's go to the floating abode first, just so I can show you guys. And I also wanted to let you guys know about this just because a buddy of mine was so flabbergasted when he saw my Serenitea Pot because he didn't realize that you can always change where your main building is located. All you gotta do is just go to one of the other islands and then just select your building and then just place it down, and that's all there is to it, right? So we're gonna kind of skim over this very, very quickly. So this is kind of my first island right here. I tried doing something a little bit different because I wanted to use the walls and see if I could get something kind of cool going on. So it's like, this is kind of like a courtyard, I guess. And then back here is kind of, I don't know, like more of a living space area. I don't really have that many different leeway houses to fill things up because the game gives you a lot of free Mondstadt houses. So anyways, I'll go through this very, very quick just because I already ended up having a tour about all this stuff outside of the fact that I refined it a little bit. So this is going to be your second island. And then the third island, which is still one of my favorite just because I made it so nice and busy and lively. I'm literally at my load limit, which we're going to have a load limit increase in version 1.6. So that's nice. We'll also be able to put down NPCs. So characters that we've unlocked, we'll be able to put some of them down into our Serenitea Pot. So that'll be kind of interesting. And then there's the fourth island, which I just made Hilichurl themed just because, I don't know, it's kind of a nice change of pace and always very nice mountainy area and blah, 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 blah. I think I already showed you guys the beach, but I'll show you that real quick just because it was my first area. The reason why I ended up going for the cool isle was because technically the items out of the cool isle, like this whole beach thing and the island type of theme, is actually going to be in 1.6 because we technically don't have palm trees in the vanilla game. Like, if you explore Mondstadt or Leeway, you will not find a palm tree anywhere. So that was the main reason why I wanted this area, but then it turned out that this was like the spawn and it's a little bit gross. Now, the weird thing is that the beach is one of the only areas where the progression is not linear. So what I mean by that is this is going to be your spawn island, right? But then you will end up opening this beach as your secondary island. And then your third island is the opposite direction over here, with the fourth being finally over there in the background. As opposed to the floating islands or the mountainous region, where those are literally just island 1, 2, 3, and 4 all in a row, right? Oh, another thing too I wanted to mention very briefly, just because I didn't see anybody talk about this. So when you end up putting down... you know, like an outdoor set, for example, like if I just place this down right here, just because whatever, why not, you know, I'll put it nice in the middle there. So what you can always do, and this works with interior as well, is you'll see that we placed it down and it's kind of just a preset, right? But what if you want to change it? Well, if we end up grabbing the tree, you actually see this yellow circle. And so long as we place these items back down within that radius, it still counts as a set item, which was really, really cool when I discovered that, because it made the options for laying down a preset, but then kind of customizing it a little bit to end up fitting with everything else. It just ended up flowing a little bit better, especially on the interior, you know? So anyway, this is my second island. You know, not really anything has changed. Originally, I had this gateway here because Chubby kept visiting here, and then he just decided, nope, I'm out. And, well, now that gate is kind of useless. But you can see that this was definitely my first area. Just my first theme, I should say, just because I don't really have that much experience with the building. And it was getting a little bit better over here. You know, obviously I kind of forced in a house or two. But, you know, this is the third island of the beach. And then last but not least is going to be this area, which this area is really cool. You can see that I'm really out of resources by this point, but I still really like it because the walk here is really nice, because this is island 3 and you have to walk across the little bridge and then walk down to the beach and stuff. And this is more what I was expecting when I ended up actually starting my game at the beach. Like, I thought it was going to be something like this. I feel it would have been a lot more appropriate, because otherwise it was just up there on those mountains and it just looked like anywhere else in Genshin, you know? But this is a very unique area because you actually get this area to build, and you also get this little island right here. So I'm sure lots of people have some pretty cool stuff. The biggest theme that I've seen people build with is quite literally just beach, you know, beach hotels or something. Like, I've just seen so many people on Reddit always using the beach and always just setting everything up, which totally makes sense because, you know, version 1.6 is coming, the summer event is coming, and we've got the bikini costumes coming. I don't care. Like, give me costumes for characters I actually care about instead of Jean and Barbara, and make them cool. Okay, let's just go into the third person so that we can see this. Look at this. You can see my skill level has definitely increased. And also, this I knew was always going to be my favorite area, was the mountainous region. Just because I've always liked this type of thing. Like, even in an ARA game that I play on the channel, Trove, you know, the Forbidden Spires is a biome that is very similar to this. I really wanted to put my main home on this section right here, which is actually Island 3, because of the elevation. I feel it really, really breaks up the monotony of the environment. And I kind of tried to make it so that up here, you know, this is kind of like, I guess, a guard housing, you know, and then, you know, whoever would be the leader would end up being in this house, and then there's kind of an outpost here where another guard would end up being. The other thing too is I'm overly preparing for when we get path blocks, because MiHoYo Genshin Impact did end up confirming that we will be able to paint paths in the Serenitea Pot, but that's apparently not coming with version 1.6. So anyways, down here's kind of like a little guard outpost to kind of keep travelers away. You know, it's kind of like it's getting closer and closer to royalty up here and the rich people type of thing. I'm waiting on a couple things to craft so I can put like a little bit of an armory back here, or maybe on the side here. But overall, I just love the way that all of this looks. You know, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And I really wanted to have a nice thing to look at from my spawn. So I tried to make that area up there really, really nice and busy. You can see that's the windmill, which it actually moves, which is beautiful. I tried to be very, very purposeful with everything that I ended up putting down type of thing. Anyways, let's go to the fourth island, just so I can show you guys that you get a lot of area here. If there was an option or an alternate to, like, if I had to pick an alternate to this area, again, I like the elevation variants, I would probably put my main house up here, just because you get a nice view at all the other islands down here, which we'll see in a sec. And overall, you end up getting this nice little bridge here, and this is where I ended up building up a shrine area, which you know, again, a lot of my resources are kind of getting really, really low, so I only have like a couple of the lanterns and so on and so forth. But over here, you can see that it's a little bit busy, right? So I ended up using the clipping trick to get a bunch of these houses to clip inside each other. You know, it technically does look kind of ugly, but what I tried my best to do was dress it up just enough so that you didn't really see all of the issues out front. You know, like if you're walking up here, like this tree kind of blocks a really, really ugly area in here, and you can't really see it from afar. And then, you know, as you end up going through here, it gets really, really tight. So it kind of distracts your attention away from going behind this house and seeing underneath these houses in the island and stuff like that. And again, when we get the path blocks, I can set it up so that it goes up to here. This area, not my favorite. It looks okay, but it's not my favorite, especially because the fountain, I feel, is very, very awkward without like a proper flat ground around it. It just doesn't really make sense that it's just sitting on the grass. I also kind of forced in the palm trees because I thought, well, maybe they ended up bringing exotic plants here specifically, right? And this is kind of like the super rich area where it's got like all the market bustling and everything like that. But I don't know. I'm not 100% happy with this, but that's also just because a lot of my resources ended up dwindling down. I didn't have that much else to do with it, you know. And then I guess I should show you guys. Here's the windmill actually up close. So then back to island 2. Island 2 actually gives you this area and this area, so you'll kind of see that I followed a similar theme where up here is all the busy hustling and bustling, and then we get down here and this kind of feels a little bit more cramped. Because I wanted this to feel more like a suburb area where it's like just people living here because they have to live here. I will eventually end up putting a path block that ends up going through here to this house right in the back. And overall, I just wanted to make this area look as busy as possible. And I'm still kind of working on, again, you know, getting some other items that I can end up adding to this area that'll end up making it look a little bit more busy. And then over here, it gets a lot worse because this is kind of like the dregs, you know, the outer reaches of the town, where we've got a couple houses, kind of a destroyed old house and stuff like that. And overall, again, I was really low on resources. Like, I don't really have any extra trees or anything like that. So I'll probably decorate this area slowly over time. But the reason for that is because similar to my beach area, I ended up making all the way at the bottom is kind of like a hillatorial camp. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like they're slowly invading type of thing. That's why we have all the guard outposts and stuff like that up top. And I don't know. I'm happy enough with it. But again, I really need to just slowly craft more and more items that it ends up becoming a little bit more busy. I hope that down the line we can end up just adding like enemies and stuff, even if they don't interact with us and we can't fight them. I think it's gonna really be nice to add characters around, just because then we'll actually be able to set them up and make the area look a little bit more alive. Because as of right now, it's like trove building. Like, it's just empty because there's not really any NPCs or anything going on. But I tried to make this area kind of more rugged, and of course when we have the path blocks, I can probably just hopefully paint a lot of dirt around and just make this place look kind of like there's not really anything to show in my interiors, just because I haven't really added much to them. Still working on it. I do have a lot of different props that I can use in the interior, especially because of the recent hillatorial event that's going on. He actually gave us quite a bit of really cool stuff, you know. But I've been saving a lot of my Adeptal energy, and I'd recommend that you guys do that as well. Or Adeptal energy. The Adeptal solvent, you know, the stuff that lets you instant craft items. I'd recommend that you save it, because with the NPCs, or characters I should say, that we'll be able to place down in our Serenitea Pot come version 1.6, apparently they're going to have favorites with like a pre-build. So let's just say, for example, maybe Venti would really like this, you know, and with that, it means we're gonna have to have all of these items in order to place this down next to the character so that he can go into the set, and then he's going to end up generating more towards companion XP, because that's basically the reason why you're gonna put down the characters in your Serenitea Pot, is that it'll just slowly generate companion XP, which ultimately means that you get their name card and stuff like that, which is great because there's a lot of characters that I don't use out on the field, and the fact that I could just plop them in here and just leave them boiling over time is a great solution to an otherwise very simple problem. Anyways, this video is longer than I expected. I was trying to keep it like 10 minutes or under, so we went a few minutes over. But either way, just a quick little update to show you that I got Trust Rank 10 and show you guys everything that you get for Trust Rank 10. Have yourselves a great day. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel. Bye, guys.